Weird American laws.
Imagine this absurd, over-the-top scene unfolding right now on a picture-perfect sunny afternoon in a quaint Connecticut town circa 1910s. The street is lined with charming wooden houses, horse-drawn wagons clopping slowly by, barrels stacked neatly on the sidewalk, and simple trees swaying gently in the breeze. A dapper gentleman in a bowler hat, crisp vest, polished shoes, and a mustache that curls just so is strolling down Main Street like he's the king of the world. He reaches into his coat pocket with dramatic flair, pulls out a massive, shiny, raw onion the size of a softball, peels it with his teeth in one smooth, crunchy motion, and starts munching loudly. Layers crack and pop like fireworks. Onion juice drips down his chin. The pungent smell wafts everywhere. Passers-by freeze mid-step. Ladies in long dresses clutch their lace handkerchiefs to their noses in horror. Children point and giggle uncontrollably. A horse snorts and rears up, nearly tipping its cart. An old man drops his cane. A baby starts crying. The whole street erupts in chaos. Suddenly, shrill whistle. A stern policeman in a tall helmet and shiny badge sprints from around the corner, baton raised. "Halt, sir!" he bellows. The gentleman freezes, onion half in mouth, juice glistening on his lips. "What seems to be the problem, officer?" The cop points an accusatory finger. "You, sir, are eating onions while walking on a public sidewalk. That is a clear violation of town ordinance, disturbing the peace, offending public decency, and creating an olfactory nuisance. You're coming with me." The man blinks in disbelief. The crowd gasps dramatically. The onion slips from his fingers and lands on the ground with a wet, sad plop. Title card slams on screen in huge red letters. "Eating onions while walking? Banned in Connecticut?" Is this actually a real law? Could you seriously get arrested, fined, or publicly shamed just for chewing a raw onion on your way to the store in the Constitution state? One of the most bizarre, eye-watering, dumb laws in American history claims exactly that. Stick with me, we're going to peel back every single layer of this wild, hilarious, and mostly mythical story. By the time we're done, you'll laugh, you'll cringe, and you'll probably never eat a raw onion in public again without looking over your shoulder. Let's dive in. Welcome to Law Toons USA, the channel where we turn America's strangest, silliest, most head-scratching laws into colorful cartoons, packed with real facts, wild exaggerations, and non-stop laughs. Today's episode is
Subscribe and drop a like.
pure onion-fueled chaos. Eating onions while walking is banned in Connecticut? Let's find out if this is peak New England quirkiness or just the internet having a grand old time. This law appears everywhere you look. Late-night Reddit threads titled "Dumbest Laws in Every State," viral Instagram reels with dramatic music and onion emojis, trivia nights where someone always brings it up to win the round, and those clickbait lists like 50 insane laws you're probably breaking right now. People quote it word for word. In Connecticut, it is illegal to eat onions while walking on public sidewalks. Some versions add delicious details. Because the odor may offend passers-by, it creates a public nuisance, or the smell lingers and disturbs the peace. The mental image is perfect. Someone happily crunching away, onion breath floating like a toxic cloud through a crowd of horrified townsfolk in their Sunday best. The supposed reason is almost believable. Raw onions are strong. They smell intense, especially when you're eating them fresh, open-mouthed while strolling past shops, churches, bakeries, and ladies' tea rooms. One big whiff in a crowded 1910 streetcar or on a busy sidewalk, and suddenly everyone's eyes are watering, noses wrinkling, and tempers flaring. Horses might bolt, babies might cry, romance might die on the spot. So the legend says, lawmakers sat down and thought, we must protect the public from onion breath on the move. No more walking and eating onions. Take it home, people. But here comes the big, tear-inducing reality check. After combing through every Connecticut state statute, every municipal code from Hartford to New Haven to Stamford, old legislative archives, historical newspapers, and every single Weird Laws of America compilation ever published, there is no law, no statute, no ordinance, not even a footnote that bans eating onions while walking on public sidewalks. It's a perfect, delicious, mouth-watering urban legend, a classic dumb law myth that sounds so perfectly Connecticut, orderly, a little uptight, obsessed with propriety that it has to be true. The story likely started in the early 1900s or 1920s, when small New England towns really did pass hyper-specific, hyper-local ordinances. Things like no spitting on sidewalks after 8 p.m., no riding bicycles on church lawns, no selling ice cream cones after 10 p.m. on Sundays, or no displaying hypnotized people in shop windows. Someone, maybe a newspaper columnist, maybe a bar storyteller, probably joked, "You know what's next? No eating onions while walking." And the joke stuck. By the 1980s and 90s, it was printed in books like The World's Dumbest Laws and America's Craziest Statutes, then exploded online in the 2000s. Now it's immortal. Why does this myth refuse to die? Because it feels right. Connecticut has a long tradition of quirky, hyper-local rules, remnants of old Puritan values mixed with small-town fussiness. Some real examples that actually existed or still linger. In Hartford, it was once illegal to cross the street by walking on your hands, an old anti-acrobatics
Subscribe and drop a like.
ordinance from vaudeville. In some towns, you can't sell fireworks to children under 12. Safety, but still oddly specific. In Waterbury, no peeping into windows at night, privacy law, and oddly enough, no displaying hypnotized people in shop windows. Yes, that was a real concern once. Connecticut still has blue laws in places. No selling alcohol on Sundays in certain counties, no car sales on Sundays, echoes of old religious restrictions. So a no onion walking rule fits the vibe perfectly. One bad breath in a crowded 1910 streetcar, instant scandal. Ladies fainting, horses bolting, the town's reputation ruined. Pure New England nightmare fuel. But let's have fun for a few minutes and pretend that it is real, because imagining the enforcement is comedy gold. Picture the courtroom drama in 1910 Hartford. The judge bangs his gavel so hard the bench shakes. The defendant stands nervously, onion still in hand, juice dripping on his tie. "Your Honor, I was hungry. I had a long walk to the post office." The prosecutor leaps up. "You were walking and eating onions simultaneously. The odor offended 3 ladies, 2 gentlemen, and a horse. Exhibit A, the onion." The witness, a prim lady with a fan, fans herself dramatically. "It was unbearable, sir. The stench followed me for 3 blocks. My eyes watered. My nose rebelled." The jury gasps in unison. The judge leans forward. "Guilty as charged. $50 fine, 1 week of onion probation, and you must eat your onions indoors from now on, preferably with the windows closed." Let's crank up the absurdity with some what-if scenarios that are pure cartoon chaos. A romantic stroll on a spring day. The guy pulls out a raw onion, peels it with flair, starts crunching. The girl recoils. Cop appears out of nowhere. "Sir, step away from the sidewalk. No onion romance in public. This is a family-friendly town." A busy businessman rushing to the bank, chewing onion like natural gum for breath freshening. Cop pulls him over. "License, registration, and onion permit, please. You're creating a mobile odor hazard." Onion protest march on the Capitol steps. Dozens of people holding signs. "Let us chew in peace. Onions are our right. Stop the smell shaming." And dramatically munching onions and blowing the smell
Subscribe and drop a like.
toward the police line. Modern influencer twist? Raw Onion Walk Challenge in Connecticut, day 1. Goes mega viral with crunch ASMR. Then police arrive. "Sir, we have odor and noise complaints from 3 counties away. Hands where we can see them and drop the onion." Even though the law is fake, it's still brilliant advice. Raw onions are powerful. Eat them at home with friends who already know your darkest secrets, or at least brush your teeth, use mouthwash, and maybe chew some gum afterwards. Public sidewalks are for walking, not for turning into rolling onion fog machines. Bonus real Connecticut weirdness that actually made it into law or local code? It was once illegal to cross the street by walking on your hands, an old anti-acrobatics ordinance. In some towns, no selling fireworks on Sundays, old blue law. No riding bicycles in churches, safety plus sanctity combo. No peeping Tom behavior, and oddly enough, no displaying hypnotized people in shop windows. Yes, that was a real concern once. Connecticut is where the laws are as neat, tidy, and occasionally eccentric as the people themselves. So, the final verdict, is eating onions while walking banned in Connecticut? No, it's a myth, a legend, a beautiful piece of American folklore. But if you're ever in Hartford, New Haven, Stamford, or any charming Connecticut town and feel that sudden urge to peel and crunch a raw onion on the sidewalk, maybe don't. The smell will get you in trouble with the locals long before any policeman even thinks about blowing his whistle. If this story made you laugh out loud, cringe in sympathy, or just crave or suddenly hate onions right now, smash that like button immediately.
Subscribe to Law Toons USA and turn on notifications. We drop a brand new animated weird law cartoon every single day. And please drop your answer in the comments. What's the weirdest food-related law, rule, or myth you've ever heard? I read every single one. Next time, we're peeling back another layer of American craziness. Until then, stay curious, stay legal, and for the love of all that is fresh and breathable, eat your onions at home. See you in the next one.